All right, you guys. So this is one of our pop-up trainings because Kelsey Shackley is one of my closest friends, adore her. And she reached out to me and a couple other coaches about a week or two ago. And she was like, guys, you have to get Shelby to speak to your team because she's on fire. And I was like, I know Shelby. I've been seeing Shelby and following Shelby for, probably 2 years since Kelsey signed you up because she knew something was so special inside of you. And I had met you at Summit and I was like, she's the sweetest thing ever. I could just feel that you were just like a calm, awesome presence. And so when Kelsey reached out to me and said, you have to have Shelby speak to your team, and I knew a little bit of Shelby's background story, I was like, this is going to be perfect for our team. Because not only is the team on the rise right now too, I do know that there are a few that are feeling a little bit stuck. And Shelby could probably say, and I can also say, that there's a lot of mindset stuff going on. So instead of hearing it from me, you guys, you get to hear from it from another coach who's going through it right now, that it's not just me, right? But before I hand it over to Shelby, and we're going to do kind of like a Q&A, you guys. I reached out to like Jamie and Britt Wright and Allison and a couple other people to ask what they wanted to hear. If you guys have questions that you want answered, just put them in the chat bar. And at the end of this, Shelby and I can go through them. But Shelby is currently a Premier 2020 coach. So what does that mean, you guys? Basically, she, from last year, the effort that her and her team put in, they earned Premier 2020, which is a huge deal, you guys. I also know that she's skyrocketing and on her way to Elite for 2021. Okay, girlfriend is 4-star qualifying in her first business center right now. She hit SC54 in April, but averages usually, I would say, SC30 to SC50. So she's helping people, and she's been a coach for 2 years. 2 years, guys. So I'm excited to be able to hear from Shelby. I know that you guys are going to be just as excited as well. Shelby, before we go through some of the questions, I'm going to just open it up to you. And I guess it's the first question. Just tell us a little bit about how you got started as a Beachbody coach. What was that? What did that look like with you and Kelsey, and how she found you and so forth?
Okay, thanks guys for having me. I'm so excited. I always have to open up and just be like, I still feel like an emerald coach. I don't feel, we don't see our growth all the time. It's so important, I think, to look back and see our journey and to enjoy the journey of growing. But I still feel unworthy. I still feel like I'm a horrible leader. I still feel unqualified. And I just want to lay that out there, because you never get to a place in this business where you feel like you've arrived, but it's how we grow. I don't have a lot of girls on my team calls, and I don't do these trainings a lot and stuff. So sometimes in this business, you get this momentum like we have right now, but I've put in the work for 2 years to find that. And so it's not like, right out of the gates, there was all this success and stuff. So I just wanted to share that. I'm fully 100% honest. So please ask any questions. I don't hold anything back at all. I already told Meg that I'm an open book. A little bit about my story becoming a coach. I was a hairstylist for 5 years here in Grants Pass, Oregon, where we are now. But when we moved out to Colorado about 2 years ago, my husband was starting a coffee business out there. And when we moved out to Colorado, I was 35 weeks pregnant. So it's not something I recommend. It's not something that was fun. It was actually the hardest season of my life. I left everything I knew. His family was here in Southern Oregon. My family is here in Southern Oregon. All of our just family, friends, everything was here. Moved 1,300 miles away, like I said, really pregnant. We didn't even have a house. We finally got in a place. I went into labor a week later. It just was chaos. And in this season in Colorado, it was the first time I ever felt lonely. I've always had a lot of friends. I've always been really social. I'm an introvert, but I love people. And so it just was this season of I kind of felt like I lacked purpose. I love being a mom. She's 3 now. I just love being at home with her and stuff. But I miss contributing, and I miss being a full-time, I was a full-time hairstylist, 40 hours behind the chair. So I had my own money. I had my own income, and it was great income and stuff. So I kind of went through that season of becoming a mom, which if you are, and a stay-at-home mom especially, where you kind of feel like, dang, am I contributing? Is a newborn baby who's up all night, am I even doing this right? No no mom to tell me that I'm doing it okay because she was here in Oregon. So now we're back in Oregon. Thank God. My husband does the same job he did out in Colorado for a couple of years here. So we have the best of both worlds. We're so thankful. In that season, when I was a brand new mom, Berkeley was a newborn, Kelsey landed on my Instagram page, my upline, Kelsey Shackley. I watched her like a hawk. I wanted whatever she had. I was like, I want that. She was at home with her baby girls. Her twins were a month older than my daughter. So I kind of related to her with that. You know, her husband was at home working with her, and I saw them working out every day, and I saw them going on like trips, and I'm like, whatever she's doing, like, I want to do. And she had actually DM'd me saying that she thinks I'd be a good coach. And I was like, okay, I don't even know what that is. Like, I'm a hairstylist lady, you know, like that's all I know how to do. But I just watched her, and I watched her, and I ghosted her a little bit, and I watched her and I ghosted. It was just kind of that for 6 months. Honestly, I wanted to do it. The only thing holding me back was my husband. He was just like, Shelby, like, it's kind of scammy. I don't know. Like, I just don't think he'll really do it. He supports me now, and he's great, but it's taken 2 years, honestly, for him to like get on board. Steve Ennis shared the compensation plan last week for our team, and it was a game changer for my husband. So that's a side note, but it definitely kind of got my husband's wheels turning with that. Anyways, I finally signed up, to make a long story short, and didn't really tell my husband. I just was kind of like, I'm doing it. Like, this is my money. Like, I bought it with my challenge pack from doing girls' hair from home. I'm like, I can afford this. This is my money. I'm doing it. And when I started, my goal was to just cover supplements for the month. I told my husband, this won't even cost us anything. I promise. It's not gonna, I'll get my money back with just helping a couple people. So I didn't know it was gonna turn into a business, you know. When I started, I just hit the ground running. I loved it, but for so long, though I could bring in Success Club numbers and I could bring in new people in my challenge groups, I was not finding coaches. I was not finding coaches because I wasn't talking about being a coach. And so that's what I've learned now. But I always dealt with this mean girl in my head that I'm not a good leader. And so I think that that stopped me for so long. So last year at this time, I just kind of got stuck. I felt super stuck at where I was because I was diamond for a year at that point, almost a year and a half. And that's not bad, but for me, I'm like, no, I'm in this long term. Like, I want to be a 5-star elite coach. Like, I want to earn those trips, and I want to do all these things, and I want that financial freedom, and I want to just do all these things. And I saw so much potential in the business, so I just wanted that. So last year at this time, there was a week before Summit where you have 1 week. I had 1 week left to go into qualification, and how we ended that next 6 weeks or whatever was how we would go to Summit. So it's the last week you have to hit whatever rank you want to hit to be recognized at Summit. So that Thursday before, I knew we had 1 week left. I woke up not as a diamond coach, but as a ruby coach. I had dropped. And I cried. I was like, I am not going to Summit for my 2nd year sitting in the same seat. Again, not wrong if you've been there. I didn't want to do it. So I was like, I voice memoed Kelsey and Dean, my uplines, and was like, I was sobbing. I was like, I'm so mad, and I'm not mad at my team. I'm not even mad at myself. I'm just mad at the situation. I can control this, and what I know is to be true is if I put the work in the next 6 days, I can make something happen. That next Thursday, literally a week later, I woke up 2-star qualifying because I had hecka like incentives. I, blew up my business with urgency and FOMO. I signed up my mom, and she got to Emerald. And I mean, there's just things that I did in that week. But to get to that point, I had to get mad. Because I was stuck, and I was so over being stuck, I didn't want to be a diamond coach forever. So I had to just get past that and get creative and create my own urgency, I guess, in my business. Because I knew it was up to me, and I knew that I wanted to go to Summit, and I wanted to walk that stage. I know it sounds so silly, but I just wanted to see that I had grown in the last year. We all know that we're always growing, and it has nothing to do with ranks and accolades, but I knew that I put in so much work that year, but I felt like I had nothing to show for it for me and my team. And so in that moment, I just had to remember my vision and like my why. And I had to just like, I really had to just dive deep, I guess, and to be like, Shelby, like, you want this long term. You know, you see the potential in this. I may have my mean girl in my head that I battle every single day, but I have got to get past that. So, like I said, I got my husband to diamond, and then a girl and I on the team. She's still diamond to this day. She's one of my OGs. Her and I just worked together that week, and we both got to diamond and got to go to summit and walk the stage, and it was so much fun. Got to go to New Leader Conference this last year, by Indian Premier last year. So I don't know, I think that we think that there's like the secret sauce and this answer and this one thing we do to get there. But it's so many little things that we already know. It's the 4 vitals, but it's just being consistent in that. And I think that as coaches, we hate hearing that C word. Like, we hate hearing that. But I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what it was for me. And I had to get stuck for me to be so mad, where I was like, I gotta do something. I've got to do something. Like, I've got to move the needle forward in my business. So that's kind of my story starting. Sorry if that was long, but I just wanted to be really real with that season of stuck, because it's normal.
No, that was so good. Like, I was like writing down notes so I would remember, like, just little things that you were saying. Like, the first thing, I hope you guys all caught that she said that she ghosted Kelsey on and off for like 6 months. So when you have people that you're like, gosh, you'd be such a great coach, like, why are you doing this, right? And they want information and then they disappear. And then like you message them and they ignore you. And then they continue to watch your stories and you're like, why are you still watching my stories? They're Shelby's. They are Shelby's, you guys. And if and when it is the right time, they will come back around. So I hope you guys heard that. And the other like really key piece is that Kelsey was painting the picture of what coaching can be for you. Okay, so for Shelby, they were, I was telling Shelby when she was like voice memoing me, I'm like, you are Kelsey. Like, they sound the same. Their mannerisms are the same. Like, they were like 2 peas in a pod. And which is so funny. But it's true, you guys, that Kelsey was painting this picture that was appealing to Shelby. They say you attract your niche, right? You're going to attract people like you where you're at in your business right now, right? That's why we always continue to rise up and up and up. So paint that picture for those people of live that life that you want right now. Okay. You don't have to wait till you're an emerald, a diamond, a 2-star, 5-star, 10-star. Be putting it into action right now. So I love that she said that. The other thing is getting stuck. Like, if I looked at Shelby and I saw her social media, I'd be like, this girl never had issues with getting stuck in this business, right? Like, she is crushing it, right? Like, you would just think that she has it all. But we all have this inner dialogue, this inner mean girl that is constantly playing in our heads. And even when you're having that momentum train, and Shelby can probably say this, I almost called Kelsey, but even when you're having that momentum, you still have that inner mean girl going on in the background saying, nope, nope, nope. And you just got to learn to shut it off. So powerful. Okay, so we are going to hop on to question number 2. So what do you feel was the real reason that you got stuck in your business?
I think it really comes down to the mean girl in my head. For so long didn't talk about coaching. And I think that that was it's such a big part of our business. And I was overlooking it. I was overlooking why coaching has changed my life. And, I was thinking that you maybe have to retire your husband or buy them a car, or all these things we see coaches doing, like top coaches doing. And it's like, that's not our story. That's not everyone's story, because I think it's more relatable to be like, I just bought the organic kind of cheese that I've always wanted instead of the normal cheese because I made extra income this week, things like that. That's relatable. I just think for so long I was scared to talk about it, whether people were, the fear of judgment, of course, being like it was the only thing I talked about. Now I, definitely talk about coaching like twice a week in my feed, and they're not all call to actions. I don't want them to all be call to actions. I think it's really important just to share my story. And then in my stories as well on Instagram, we'll definitely have call to actions there too with coaching. But I made a pact at the beginning of this year that I have to shift something, and it has to be talking about the coaching opportunity. It just has to be. So that was huge. And, it's funny because Kelsey has always done lead generator nights, Mondays and Thursdays. And I never really did them. I just kind of thought like, oh, I don't like me to do them. It's fine. Coaching, coaches will come, but they don't, because if she didn't land in my DMs and reach out to me, I would still never to say have even noticed that what she was doing, I could do too. When we own the gift that we have, I just think it's so much easier to be like, that girl want to join us? And then it's like, if they don't, we can't take it personal, because we know the value of it. We know how it's changed our life. But we have to know our own story. Maybe it's just the accountability. Maybe, you've lost 40 pounds because you've been a coach and you've showed up every day because people know you're showing up since you're a coach. That's your story. So I feel like I'm still figuring out my story even over 2 years later, and little things I feel like I'll think about. And for Kelsey's post that made me jump in her DMs was her post that was so raw and real about she didn't get good grades in high school and in school growing up, and she failed classes and she struggled, and that was me. And so I kind of just went to cosmetology school because I felt I can do hair. I can probably pass those tests, because I didn't think I could do anything else. I honestly just barely passed classes and barely graduated. And I think my teachers just felt bad for me, honestly. Like, it was hard. And so when she had that post that, coaching was different because you set the bar in your business, you put in the effort, you put in the work ethic and all that stuff, like, it's up to you. I knew that I had really good work ethic. I just knew that I wasn't very book smart. And so when she had that post, I was like, wow, like that hit me. So now I'm the one doing those posts because that's my story too. That's what I related to.
I can relate to that too. Hence the blonde hair, but I'm just kidding, guys. Okay. So something that I wanted to point out about that is I think we all probably struggle with talking about coaching, right? And we look at coaches who are succeeding and say, well, of course they're talking about coaching in their posts because they're doing well right now. Guys, you have to start at some point, okay? You have to start at some point painting that picture of what coaching is doing for you, sticking to your authentic story, right? And saying, this is what it's doing for me. This is why I signed up. Because like Shelby, she connected deep to Kelsey's story because it hit some heartstrings with her, right? The other thing, you guys, is that you have to prepare yourself that if you put up a black and white quote that's like a funny quote and it's like, people can relate to that and they're like, oh, that's so funny. That's going to get so many likes, so many comments, so many shares, so many all this, right? But that's not going to pull people in to want to join your team. You're going to get record low likes and comments and probably no shares and probably no saves on your coaching posts, okay? Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, because there are Shelbys lurking on your Instagram and your Facebook looking at those posts, and they might not be liking and commenting, you guys, but they are taking it all in here saying, man, I want that. Man, I want that. And at one point, eventually they will say, you know what, I'm going to try it out. Okay, so whether it be that message that you send to them or a post that hits their heartstrings, Kaylee, stop. It's going to take it to that next level. Okay, so number 3. What changed your mindset to get over yourself and start running?
Oh my gosh. I think it so much is mindset. I hate saying that, but it is 100%. I started waking up early, listening to PD every morning. Something that I just did more practical that has changed my business is reaching out to my corporate mentor. Reaching out to Sydney Maurer, she's the West Region mentor, so she's not everyone's, changed my business in a way of letting me know based on what my team's goals are for the year, how I actually get there. So that helped me kind of personally retweak on what I'm focusing on. We all have different goals and stuff. When I talked to Sydney, I told her my goal was 5-star elite. Of course, that's a lot of our goals. Once we're kind of diamond or 2-star, we're kind of looking at that. That was my goal last year, but I didn't even know how many points Success Starter got me. And leaning into my new coaches, what that was, I didn't know all that stuff. And now I do, because, going from diamond to 4-star qual just in 2 months, because I hit 2-star and then I dropped again. I was diamond this last January. And then when I went into 4-star qual last month, all of a sudden I'm like, no, I don't want to be 5-star elite. I want to be 10-star elite, because I feel like 5-star would just be doing my team a disservice. I feel like we could for sure get another diamond and get these points in the next 7 months. I'm like, I'm not settling for that, because I think that we can do so much more. I mean, we're not even halfway through the year. And so talking to Sydney was huge. And actually it's crazy because that morning I'd written down 10-star elite and it made me want to throw up, made me want to puke. I can't even like say it out loud because I think I like have that imposter syndrome like in my head saying, Shelby, good luck, you know? But our goals should scare us. And that morning when I talked to Sydney, she was like, Shelby, I don't think you should go for 5-star. I think you should go for 10-star. Like, look at your team and look at the momentum. And I was like, you're right. And I showed her my card and I showed her the 10-star elite thing that I just written down. And so it was really, so like I said, that's more practical of what I did, was really getting serious on what my goal is and actually what it looks like to get there. I think sometimes we can think, you know, I had a girl the other day on my team say, I want to be 3-star elite. And I was like, sis, like, that's not even a thing. Like, you have to like know how to get to your goal, you know, like you have to know what it is to get there. You know, if you want to hit Success Club 5 for the month and you are sending out, you know, 50 invites a week, but you're not hitting Success Club, then you have to up your number. So it's just kind of like reverse engineering your goals too, getting really crystal clear on what it is, why you want to get there and how, you know.
I love that. I really do. And gosh, it's so much mindset, you guys, like so much mindset. And I also love that you said that you, obviously Kelsey's an amazing upline, but you have connection to someone else outside of your upline, right? I think that's powerful, you guys. Like, we have awesome leaders on this team, awesome leaders, but there's something powerful about going out and whether it be a coach in another team or a corporate mentor or someone outside of your upline that you can just have talk to you objectively, right? That was powerful for me, Shelby, as well, when like I love Janelle, adore Janelle, but I had someone at corporate that I was able to go to that could say, here's the numbers, here's what I'm seeing, here's what's working in the network, why don't you try this, right? So it's just a different perspective, you guys. Okay, so next question. How did you rally your team around you? Once you've got like, so you were stuck and then you were like, okay, this sucks. I was a diamond coach and I've been there for a year and then I dropped to Ruby a week from Summit and I have a week to get 2-star qualifying. How did you rally your team behind that? Because it wasn't all Shelby that did, you know, signed up. I can't even do the math in my head, but 16 coaches, but on top of that, probably 20-ish coaches in 2 weeks and did all the work. Like, how did you rally them behind you to make that happen?
Yeah, well, Premier, I mean, that was a little bit different last year because my team wasn't nearly as big as it is now. You know, pushing into the last couple months, what we're doing now, I truly feel like energy comes from the leader. I feel like if we want to lead a team, we've got to lead from the front. And not that it's all about Success Club numbers, but for me, if I want, especially my new coaches, because I have coaches that have been with me OG 2 years since I started, and they're still like my diamonds, my leaders. But if I want my new coaches to hit Success Club, like, I better be hitting Success Club, you know, 18, 20, 22, because we hear that our newer coaches especially do a quarter or maybe sometimes half of what we do. But we can't expect our team to do things that we're personally not doing. So leading from the front is really, really huge, I think. I know that sharing my goals with the team a month ago, because we really got this momentum recently. Like, if I'm just being honest, it really came kind of in March. Once I shared with them like what my goal is for the year, 10-star elite, which is so scary to say, they are all about it. Your team wants to be a part of it. I think as a leader, we can feel like, oh, this is my goal for the team, it's about me, but it's not, because when we paint the picture of, no, like, what could being a diamond coach be for you and your family? Making that $400, $500 a week on average is kind of what I made being a diamond coach for as long as I was. What could that $2,000 a month do for your family, and more? You know, how could it help you stay at home more with your family? How are your babies? Work less at the job you hate. Whatever it is, it's different for everyone. And knowing your coaches and like their why they're doing this is really important too. At least that they know their why, that they know their vision, because we talk about that so much, but there's days where I still forget mine. There's days where I don't feel motivated to show up. Of course, we all want to take a day off, you know? But I just really do think that leading from the front and sharing goals with the team. I just know that I've noticed the last 2 months with doing that, my girls really, really want to be a part of that. They feel super special because it's their goals and dreams too, and we're just kind of linking arms and coming together with it. But I think it's bonded us too. I think like with our community, it's been so fun because they see that, you know, in January and February, I had like 2 PS coaches hitting Success Club. Last month in April, I had 13 PS coaches hit Success Club. So it's like there's a big shift there, and I let them know, hey, I haven't had a team like this before. I'm new to this, but I'm here for it. I've been working for this. I'm stoked. Like, let's do it. And they're pumped about that, you know.
Thank you for being so open about that. Yeah, it's so powerful, you guys, when you are able to say, yeah, I might have this goal of 10-star elite, but let me make sure it's connected with my team. Let me find those girls who want $200, $300, $400, $500 a week, a month, right? Let me connect my goals to their goals, because when you focus on helping other people hit their goals, that's when your goals happen, okay? So it's just that little mindset shift, you guys. Okay. Did you change how you recruited? And if you did, what did you do?
I would say not so much how I recruit, like as far as the mentorship, but I will talk about my 3-day coach workshop that I run. This is like a sneak peek into coaching. So I always host my 3-day coach. It used to be a 5-day, but I minimized it because I just feel like the quicker the better for people. I run it all on Facebook. I always run it the last week of the month because my challenge group is always the second or third week of the month. So really, I don't cold coach to invite. I don't really go into people that I don't know, I've never talked to, and say, hey, you'd be a good coach, which is crazy because that's what Kelsey did to me. I've done it a handful of times, but it's not my jam. It hasn't felt comfortable. I'm not opposed to it, but what I personally do is invite my challenge group girls into coaching the first week they're in their, like, my fitness club. So when they start my fit club, they're week 1, they're pumped because it's week 1 of their new journey. While they're hot and stoked on it, I'm inviting them to my coach workshop. That's the next week or 2. In this coach workshop, like I said, it's on Facebook. I do a sneak peek. Usually it's like a Friday, I'll do a sneak peek. And then the actual workshop is Monday through Wednesday, all on this Facebook group. I'll go live on Friday. I'll share my coaching story. I'll share what we do as coaches, common fears and hesitations. In this group, in the next couple days, I will share my income progression. So I'm kind of covering all the bases in about 30 minutes on a Facebook Live. I don't like it as much as doing it on Zoom because there's no presentation. I can't share my screen, which I hate. But I've noticed that people would not get on my coach sneak peeks. They just wouldn't. It would be me, and it would be another girl on my team. And it was devastating. And so I noticed when I went live on this workshop, it's the same group, it's the same link. So people are on it today that they've been on it for 6 months unless they've removed themselves off the group. And I just share my story, share everything in that live video. I pin that video to the top. The next 3 days, like I said, over the weekend, I'll have a post about, hey, if you don't have BOD, get your free 14-day trial here. Or I'll just drop some links for, you know, the 21-day fix, like free sample. So I'll either drop the 14-day free trial of the Beachbody, or I'll just drop like a few free samples that they can do in the next couple days. Because what I do from Monday through Wednesday is give them tasks of what to do as what we do as coaches. So by Wednesday, they kind of know like, oh, I can totally do this. And a lot of the girls, because they just started my challenge group, they're already doing the things. So like day 1, I'll have them share their sweaty selfie from their workout, whether they're in my challenge group that month or not. Maybe this is someone who just came to me from Instagram and they're not on my team. Regardless, they have access to a free workout. I'm asking them to share just on this group their sweaty selfie. And then I ask them to put it on their stories too. Day 1, I talk about vision in this business, what it could do for them. And I will also go live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for like 5 to 10 minutes about whatever the topic is. So I go over all the vitals in the 3 days. I might have 2 posts a day. Again, I did 5-day coach workshop at first. So I had pretty much like 4 vitals each day. The 5th day was kind of the wrap up. So now it's a little bit more condensed. I do have a couple more posts for the 3 days that I did in the 5-day. but I talk about PD, why we do it, and I ask them to listen to, Keisha Fitzgerald for 10 minutes on the free podcast app, or Rachel Hollis or whatever. And then by Wednesday, I check in with them one-on-one, not in the group, because no one's going to be like, I'm ready, like you have to check in one-on-one. And Kelsey and I did that last October. So 6 months ago, 7 months. Yeah, it's been about 6 or 7 months we've done it. We did it for the first time together. And now I just run it solo. But since doing that, I think that has changed my business a ton, because people are seeing what we do as coaches, and they're actually doing the things before they actually enroll. That way it's less scary for them. Because I feel like a lot of people will sign up to be a coach, but they don't really know what the heck we do. They're not really sure if they can do it, or they think they can, but they're not sure what we actually do. So this, I call it a workshop, because mentorship sounds a little bit too intense for me. I have to remember I'm bringing in my niche, and there's apprenticeship. There's so many names you can call it, but for me, it's just like a sneak peek / workshop with how they can do the task as a coach. And I do that, like I said, once a month. So that's been really, really huge.
I love that. And I love that you said that it's mostly your clients. And here's the thing, you guys, she's shooting for SC30, SC50 every single month, right? So that's 15 or more people every single month that she's getting started on her health and fitness journey, right? Or on their health and fitness journey. And then those are 15 to 20 people that she can invite to coaching that month that are quality people. Okay, people who are already doing the workouts, they already have the products. So that takes it up a level of people who are interested just by doing it that way. So I love that you shared that. And I think we're all like, let's have that template. So I'll be reaching out to you for that. Okay, next thing. Let's see. What would you say you do to continue to have a good team culture?
I think I shared a little bit earlier, like knowing my girls, like why they do this, I'm huge on culture. So you have to remember, I started because I was a new mom who was like lonely. I didn't really do it for the income. I just wanted to be around people. I wanted to be around like-minded women who, a lot were naturally younger moms and stuff on Kelsey's team when I started, and still are. And so I think, not that all my newer coaches especially are moms, but just knowing that they would love to be at home, like with their babies and stuff, that's huge to me. But knowing why they're doing this and reminding them of that too. I have the new coach thread on Facebook Messenger, and then I also have an Emerald and Above. And so I have those two threads. And then also right now for virtual vacay, I have like 6 girls in a texting thread. That's kind of like my push to diamond thread. And that's something I just started the end of April. So that's a newer thing too. So it's really being in constant communication. And when I say that, I don't mean that you're always glued to your phone and stuff. It's on do not disturb. I have my business hours and stuff. There's days where I'm on my phone a lot more than others. I'm not proud of it, but I have to leave my phone on my desk to like shut the door, because I love what I do. And I want to work all day long some days. But I also love my daughter. She's here right now watching a movie, I think. She's 3, who knows what she's doing, but having those business hours of like, okay, Shelby, like, you don't have to be glued to your phone to be a good coach. If anything, it shows my coaches to like respect my time. Kelsey's done it too. It's taken Kelsey, sometimes over the weekend, 48 hours to get back to me, and that's okay, because she's not working over her Saturday, Sunday, or her holiday weekend or whatever it is, and I don't expect that. We have so many resources with the FAQs. We have so many things that we can find out like on our own in the coach office, or just the threads that we're on. Like I'm sure, Meg, you have some type of thread or something with coaches that when I see coaches help each other out, I'm like, yes, because you want to be able to leave the country for a week and know that your team's not going to crumble. That's up to the leader to create that in their team, knowing like to instill that they're a confident leader, even when they don't feel like it, but to teach that from the beginning.
It's so true. Who wants to be glued to their phone 24/7? I don't. I would not be a coach if I had to do that, right? And I had to learn it the hard way, where it was like, Kirk and I had like a hard talk where he was like, you need to stop. And now I'm like the first person when he pulls up his phone when we're playing a game, I'm like, no phone, right? And probably all my PS coaches know if you text me, it's going to take me 24, 48 hours because you have to set those boundaries around your time, right? You work for certain hours, you guys, and then other times you're present with the family and people who you love. Okay, so we're going to keep on moving. We have 2 questions, you guys. So what is working best? I think you kind of answered this, but what is working best for rank advancing right now? I know you mentioned that you have like those threads for your team and also 4-star qualifying, and you have people in the virtual vacay group. That's like kind of a text thread. What are you doing in that text thread every single day? Like, is there something that you're having them check in on? Is it just like, what do you do?
Yeah, so first, with like Emerald especially, I just keep it really simple. I just tell people the perks, obviously, but I just tell them that their business doesn't really fully open until they're Emerald. It should be something that happens the first week of their business. I also do the same thing with Diamond where I'm like, it shouldn't take a year, because sometimes I have girls be like, I want to be Diamond in a year. And I'm like, homegirl, if I did it in 3.5 weeks, like I know you can do it, you know? So just being so crystal clear on that. As far as right now, like the threads, you know, they're going to look a little bit different with my girls pushing to Diamond than like my new coach thread. My new coach thread is always a little bit more quiet. Like it's quiet right now, and I'll just check in every day and at least share like, how can I help you today? Or I'll share what I'm doing. So this morning I sent out 30 follow-ups. And so I sent to my new coach thread, this is what my follow-up looked like today. And my girls that have, you know, 3 or 4 active coaches on each side, their team's a little bit bigger already. They're kind of building a little bit faster or more. In my virtual vacay push to Diamond thread, that's like, hey, 5 nights a week, drop your bat. I need to know that like you're actually doing the work if you're pushing for this, you know? And it's just good accountability even for me. Like last night, I totally forgot to post it in there. So this morning I'm like, hey guys, here's my bat. I'm so sorry, you know, because that's the stuff that I've learned to not recreate the wheel with Kelsey and Dean. Like they've taught us, when I've been in push threads with her, I've been in a lot, whether I was in them to, you know, boost my business or to also be alongside her to help my girls where we would host it together. I just kind of do the things, go in there with a voice memo of some type of inspiration for the day. And you know, our threads and stuff aren't always going to have all this momentum. Like some days I had a new coach over the weekend, it was Sunday. She was like, is everyone okay? It's really quiet in here. And I'm like, oh girl, like it's just over the weekend. Like don't worry. You know, she was like worried because we went from so much momentum in April to having a weekend, which is the weekend, number one, but where's a little bit more quiet. And I'm like, oh girl, like the business can feel like this. There's going to be days where it's crazy and then days where it's, you know, not. And that's okay. But I just feel like as a leader, as long as you're letting your team know that you'll get back to them, they know how to get a hold of you, they know where you're at, they know you support them, it's all we can do. It's all we can do is lead from the front and, you know, create that culture we love and stuff. But I think at the end of the day, you know, they have to know that you're going to be there for them and you believe in them, and that's all we can do as a leader. So
I love that. And I love that you're sharing what you're doing. Like I always forget to do that because I'm powering through and then I need to remember to like screenshot and share it. Every once in a while I get into momentum and then I forget. Okay, so last question. What does a typical work day look like for Mama Shelby? Like how does it look? Do you do chunks of time? Do you get up before your baby girl? I know 3 is a real fun age because they think they're independent, but they are not. So how does it look for you? How does that work time?
yeah, that was a big shift that I made really in January, just going into this year being like, Shelby, again, you gotta like reshift here, like some things have got to change. I never woke up before Berkeley. I always would kind of wake up with her. Like it was always still kind of early, 7:30. But now I'm up at 6 every morning, Monday through Saturday. I sleep in on Sunday, but of course the one day you get to sleep in, your body doesn't let you or whatever the case is. But honestly, I'm up at 6 and I just do what I can in that time. I wish I could tell you that I have this certain thing in 20 minutes here and 10 minutes there. Every day looks different. And I know that some mornings I wake up and I have a couple carts to send, or I have new customers that I have to send out welcome emails. I have to be so focused in that time because before Berkeley wakes up and then her nap time, so it's probably about 4 hours a day I work. I don't work when she's awake unless I'm sending a voice memo or something when she's riding her bike. And I do that personally because I have to remember I'm doing this business to be at home with her, and I want to be so intentional with that time. And she knows it. She knows when mom's with her. She knows when, maybe when they're 6 months old, maybe not, but she's 3 and she knows. And for her and Lord willing future kids, I want to instill that now. If I'm in this for the long haul, I want to make sure, like, again, back to the business hours, like being smart about that. I always open up in the morning with PD. That's always number one, but I listen to that as I'm, doing emails or as I'm filling out my bat or making connections or whatever. So I always try to kill as many birds as I can with one stone, and just try to, that's the same?
I think it is. Yeah, I always mess up.
After I said it, I was like, was that right? But I try to do like as much as I can in that time. So, and a lot of it is usually, the vitals, because working out and stuff, that's just stuff we do anyway, but really you can get so much done in that power hour. So again, it may look a little bit different every single day, but it's always turning on a podcast for a book. Lately, Fear's My Homeboy's been so good, like such a good book to listen to on Audible. I don't really read books. I always listen to it because I feel like I can get a couple things done at the same time while still learning. But waking up before her has changed my business, because getting that extra hour or two sometimes is so important. And then, if for some crazy reason the rest of the day just went down the drain, that you did something to move your business forward in the morning. You still sent your emails, you still showed up, you still sent invites, swallowing the frog or eating the frog, whatever the saying is about like doing invites first, because for most of us, it's the thing we like the least. Doing that first is really, really important too.
Yes, and you just made my heart explode when you said, like, you are not working when your baby is there. Like, you're like, because at the end of the day, you guys, whether you are married or you have children or whatever, like, we're doing it not just for ourselves, we're doing it for the people that we love, right? And they deserve present time with you, right? And you will start, and I've been there, you guys, you will start resenting this business if you let it take over your life. You can't have both. You can't have both. Okay, so Shelby, this was so amazing. I saw some questions over here that I'll try to grab some of them. But guys, I will tell you, I have a little present for you. So Janelle had Shelby on her team call yesterday night, and I purposefully didn't share it with you guys, okay? You're all like, Meg, why didn't you let us know? Because I wanted you to get a fresh perspective from Shelby now on this real, raw, open question type thing. And then Janelle's are more geared towards what's working for Shelby for growing her business, okay? So we got like the unstuck, real raw stuff from Shelby right now, and then you get to get the tools and tips and suggestions of what's working for her for that momentum as like your little bonus present. Are you guys so excited? Okay, so I'll post that recording in the team group after this. All right, so let me see. Any questions? Lead generator nights. Talking about coaching is still my biggest struggle. Okay, so if you want to, I think we used to do this, but a little bit about the lead generator night.
Just sharing what that is.
Yes, like what exactly do you guys do?
Yeah, I actually don't really know what that term means for us. Our team, like Kelsey's just always called it a lead generator, but it's like a call to action. It's talking about the coaching opportunity. She'll have lead generators for like our boot camps too, because we should be talking about both. Kelsey's, my upline, her focus is coach 1 week, boot camp the next, coach 1 week, boot camp the next. I'm kind of just naturally always doing that. I'll always have like a fitness post at least once a week about that kind of lifestyle. And then like definitely once a week for coaching too. It doesn't really matter how you do it as long as you're doing it. And then obviously sandwiching it in with your stories. Before this call, I got on my stories and said, hopping on a call to lead for another team, like just getting to share what I'm doing throughout the day. I know that may seem like it's kind of boring, but like, what are you doing as a coach? Like, why do you love it? Why are you on this call? What are you doing on this call? How is it going to benefit you? How would it benefit your watchers and your viewers? So yeah, lead generator night is just as a team, we're all posting that night. And like I said, it's been Mondays and Wednesdays or Mondays and Thursdays for as long as I've been a coach. That way no one feels alone in posting. So it's like we can go love on each other's posts and not feel like we just, because it's scary for some people. And if we'll post on the thread in Kelsey's team, Conquer Nation, we'll post like, just did my post. So we'll go to each other's pages and be like, hey, and love on each other. And that way you feel like you're, supported, because it can be scary, especially if it's like a transformation photo or something.
I love that. I love that you guys do that. We were doing that before, but we found that, like, I think it was that the people who you interact with, that's who you're going to see their posts all the time. So we stopped doing it. But guys, we might start that back up. Stay tuned. Okay, 2 more questions. So Rennie said, I'm a stylist and I work for a major beauty company. They frown upon me talking about a company that makes me an extra income. How do I go about this?
That's hard for me because I wasn't in the salon while I was coaching. So I found coaching after I'd left the salon because we had moved states. So I never had that type of thing. But to me, I don't know if you're an independent contractor or not, but to me, you know, I pay rent somewhere. Like I paid rent somewhere. I was an independent contractor. I paid for my own business, my own fee, you know, all that stuff. I should be able to talk about what I want to talk about. That seems really odd, but I don't know. I've personally not been there before.
Yeah. That's something that you'd probably have to talk to someone who's going through that. Okay, so last question. So when do you exercise? That's where I'm struggling. I want to work early, but I also want to get my workout done before the kids wake up.
Yeah, so that's so hard because it's always about this time, actually. Berkeley will wake up. I'll let her watch cartoons for like a half hour while I'm wrapping up my morning work time. We'll have breakfast or whatever, and then we'll go out to, we have a little garage gym. Berkeley has always worked out with me. So when I signed up, she was 9 months old. I've tried to work out without her and it's not as fun. I know that sounds so weird, but it's just our thing. And so I've always, you know, I did 6 weeks of the work with my husband, 6 a.m. before Berkeley would wake up and we went through that program. It was fun to do it with him. And I really suggest you doing it with your significant other too. But for me, I actually just have her do it with me. She listens to music with me. We have a whiteboard out there she colors on. To me, especially this day and age with quarantine, there's a little bit more screen time going on. There just is. It forces her for 30 or 40 minutes just to play with mom and just dance. And she has her little one pound weights and, you know, she loves it. But I've created that for the last 2.5 years. So it's so hard to answer that because I'm not, you know, I like to work out with her. I know you like to work out before the kids wake up. I don't know if you said that you don't want to wake up early or what. So that's where I'm struggling.
And it's so true, you guys. Like, you have to find what works best for you. But I think, you know, you guys see Brayden and Tenley running around like crazy while I'm working out. Brayden's really fun lately, you guys. Let me tell you that. Like, crawling on top of me with weights in my hands. But Megan, you have to find what works best for you. I know maybe getting the girls involved with doing it with you, or having them like sitting and maybe reading a book, and they get like, you know, some pennies or something that they sat and read the book while you were working out, you know, because as much as they're not, maybe they don't want to do it with you, they're going to be watching what you're doing, right? And they're taking that in like, oh, this is something that I could be doing with my mom, and they might come around, you know, they might come around. So I love that. All right, well, Shelby, thank you so much. Thank you for being so open and raw and real. I know that everyone got something from this. I was taking notes. I'm like, okay, we're going to incorporate that. And that, you know, so thank you. Guys, like I said, special present is that the next training, I actually just got the link from Janelle before I hopped on here, is kind of like Shelby 2.0, that you can hear like what she's actually doing. But besides that, Shelby, stay safe, stay healthy. Everyone else stay safe, healthy, sane. Last thing, I always do this to you guys. I was just talking to Britt Wright about this yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I really want to do something fun with the team that incorporates our families. So what we're going to do, it's coming down the line, is we're going to do like a fun little Shakeology dessert Zoom thing where we all hop on, we grab our Shakeology, whether it be Shakeology pudding or Shakeology ice cream or something. We'll be making it together just to have some fun and eat dessert that's good for you. So stay tuned for that, you guys. I hope you like that idea. I'll talk to y'all in the team group. Keep